gossip in the closet.
Welcome back to Gossip in the Closet, Season 2, Episode 2. You may have noticed that Shelby did Episode 1, so we are now doing episodes separately. In my opinion, great idea. Why didn't I do this from the start? I haven't got Shelby telling me she doesn't love me every 5 minutes, because I was sick of that, to be honest with you. And that's exactly why I moved to England, and thank God she stayed in Australia. Now, I loved your first episode. It was really, really good. Of course, I do miss Shelby. But, you know, she's with the kangaroos, you know. It is a bit rainy here. I can't lie. Am I going to sit here and lie and say it's not raining? And I don't like the weather. No, I don't. So if you are new here, or if you have come from season 1, this is still a lesbian podcast. It still involves 2 twin sisters, okay? Just now, it's me in England and Shelby in Australia. And we're going to do alternate weeks, basically, until we figure out a plan when we're together again, essentially. Some people might know from my TikTok that I am currently dating somebody. We are very serious about each other. We did meet online. And then she came and flew from England to Australia to meet me. It can't get any more lesbian than that. And now I'm back in the UK and we have continued to date. So that's a little bit about me and my love life, my dating situation just now. What I will say is Shelby did do some ins and outs of a relationship. So I'm just going to slightly kind of go over what she said, and then I'm going to move forward with my own little game. She spoke a little bit about some ins in a relationship, what she would like to keep in a relationship, or what she thinks people should keep inside the relationships, and what people should get rid of for 2026, which I thought was really, really good. So for 2026, she was saying get rid of kind of jealous partners in a way, someone that doesn't kind of push you towards your goals, you know, doesn't compliment you, doesn't, you know, amp you up, lays next to you in bed and is secretly in competition with you. We don't want any of that. I actually think she put that as an in, saying that have in somebody who is going to push you and stuff like this, right? I know Shelby touched on her favourites for 2025, so I thought I would do the same. So, quite a few favourites of 2025. First of all, I would like to say that I started to enter my Saturn return, which comes around, I think it's every 27 to 29 years. Anyway, apparently, according to ChatGPT, I had entered my Saturn return, which brings a lot of reflection. It's quite a spiritual thing. It comes with a certain age where you start to discover and see things differently, and you start entering a level of maturity, I'm guessing. So that's really, really, really exciting. It's been something that I've really been thinking about and reflecting. I also discovered a book called The Stellarstein Prophecy, which kind of pushed me into my a little bit of thinking about where do I stand spiritually? What are my views on that? What does that look like for me? And also just being open to a different take on kind of, you know, how do we receive energy? How do we give energy? And what does that look like? And where is our energy? And, you know, affirmations, gratefulness, even sitting down and having a meal. You have to consume your food and take that energy in, and we're meant to actually really be conscious about how we consume our energy. And it's just a really, really good book. I really, really, really enjoyed that. So if anybody is interested in that, please go and read The Stellarstein Prophecy. Another one, obviously, I got to see my sister for the first time in a year and a half. I went over to Australia. That was a massive highlight for me. I massively missed her, and I'm so, so glad that I got the opportunity to spend 6 months with her in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. And I learned a lot about myself, because it was a massive thing to do, you know, going out there and kind of trying to establish new jobs, new environments, new people. And I'm proud of myself. I'm really, really proud of myself. And I really, really enjoyed it. So that is the other one as well, which is going to Australia. What an amazing place to be. Would absolutely recommend everybody go to Yochi and everybody go to Bondi, because what an amazing place. So yeah, another one would be Jordan Stevens. I read his ADHD book, but I actually known him on Instagram. I know that he was with Visual Kids, so I've obviously heard of him before. But listening to things that he has got to say about the world, listening to his exploration of ADHD and how that's impacted his life, I really thoroughly enjoyed getting to know his personality through the book. And Shelby wants to be best mates with Ariana Grande, each to their own. I want to be best friends with Jordan and his girlfriend Jade, who also I know is massively political, just like I am, very left wing. And yeah, I just love how she stood up on stage and she kind of said her piece about how she doesn't agree with certain things. And I think it's really ballsy and very, I love anyone that's got the courage to speak out and give their piece to how they think. And also anybody that is for the people, for everybody to live their lives and be happy, and we don't have to have an opinion on how everybody else lives as long as they're not hurting anyone. I don't see a problem with that, so that's why I really like them too. So yeah, Jordan, if you are listening to this, which I'm sure you are, please reach out. Okay, thank you. Anyway, they were my favourites of 2025. Really looking forward to 2026 and what that holds. I'll keep you updated, of course. Okay, welcome to Gossip of the Week.
Gossip of the week.
This episode is also Gossip of the Week, the same as last episode. Now, we will do queries at some point, but we're just navigating all the change at the minute, and we really want to find out the best way to do queries, but we really, really want some queries, so please send us in your queries, and we will navigate how to get to them at some point. But this week is Gossip of the Week. This is going to be friendly or flirty. Now, I've seen that there's been some contexts where people have done this, where they've kind of said, oh, is this friendly or flirty? But I'm going to do it like in a relationship context. So like, would I be okay if my partner did this, or would I do this in a relationship myself? But you'll kind of understand what I mean as we go forward. So, number 1, she puts her hand on your lap every time she laughs. Now, for example, I'm sitting next to my partner and there's some lass over there and she's putting her hand on my partner's knee every 5 bloody seconds, laughing away. I've had a bloody enough, to be honest with you. I'm not happy about it, okay? So, some people do that. They're very tactile when they're talking to someone, they're laughing away, whatever. And that's all well and good until she's... Just don't do it. It's just not worth it, all right? Don't allow that. Excuse me? Get off, all right? You've touched my partner more than 3 times. I've had enough, all right? And I shan't appreciate that. Right. Number 2. She sends you a song saying, this made me think of you, with no explanation. Now, listen, I don't know who's sending people songs saying this made me feel of you. Maybe you send it to your family member. That's fine. Maybe your family member sends it to you. Maybe it's your best friend. I'm actually not mad at this, okay? I think it's relatively appropriate to listen to a song and think of somebody that you know. So I'm not gonna end my relationship over it, and I certainly wouldn't expect someone to end the relationship with me over that either. What I will say though is, if it's somebody that they shouldn't be speaking to, then obviously that's a problem, but then they shouldn't be speaking to someone they shouldn't be speaking to, so that's fine. All right, that's friendly. Okay, number 3. She kisses all her girl mates on the mouth when she greets them. Now, I've never kissed me friends on the mouth, okay? I don't do any of that. And I don't even kiss like my family on the lips. I know some people do that, that's fine, but I don't. So for me, that's a no-go. I think if my partner was doing it, I mean, I know that there's girly girls, femmes out there, them femme girls all kissing each other, nice to see you, whatever. I don't know. I still don't think it's appropriate. I wouldn't take it in a relationship, but, that can be platonic, I guess, if that is just the way that they're greeting each other. However, certainly not if it was a new friend, or certainly not if it was on a night out. I wouldn't be happy with that. So no to kisses of any kind to anyone but your partner. Or if you're single, do what you want, girls, no judgment. Number 4, accepting someone's Instagram follow after a night out. This obviously does depend on the context. Sometimes you've met your partner's friend on a night out and they've followed you on Instagram and you followed them back, that's absolutely fine. Or if, your partner's met somebody that whatever, it's kind of context. But if you've only just met this person and they were really flirtatious on a night out and they followed you, I don't think it's appropriate to follow them back personally. I certainly wouldn't be happy if my partner followed them back. That is really inappropriate. Number 5. someone adjusting your clothes or kind of adjusting your hair, pushing your hair behind your ears, stuff like that, I think that's flirty. I would not call that friendly. I think obviously like Shelby would probably adjust my clothes and my hair if we were kind of doing a podcast together or whatever, we were out and she was kind of making sure I looked okay. That's fine. I guess context matters. But in a friendship, I don't know that any of my friends would do that to me. I think it is quite a flirty gesture to be kind of like playing with your hair a little bit, adjusting your clothes for you. So yeah, unless it's a family member, I don't think I would be happy with that either. A lot of them are context, obviously, but some of them are just an absolute no-go. This one, I'm going with context, but definitely flirty. So, number 6, laying in bed, basically spending the night with a gay friend, basically, or someone that is of the same sexual orientation as you, basically would date somebody of your gender. So, I'm going to go with, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm not looking to sleep with everybody that I sleep next to. Sometimes it's just more appropriate to spend the night together because you're all going back to each other's house. You've gone on a night out, or you're going to have a sleepover. You're going to have a nice little sleepover. You're going to have a get together. You're going to have a sleepover. My house is, not in Narnia. I'm not going to go all the way home. So that is absolutely fine, guys. Don't get upset with your partner because they need to go spend the night somewhere. You should trust your partner. Unless they've slept with them in the past. I mean, if they've slept with them in the past, I would then question whether or not they should be friends. I know in the lesbian community, it is quite standard that we're friends with people that we've slept with. I don't think it should be standard, but I think it is a standard. And, stuff happens when we're younger, There is one point, I think, that everyone kind of slept with everybody. Hopefully we're grown now, okay? Don't sleep with your friends also. Guys, don't sleep with your friends, okay? I know that we're in a tight circle. I know everyone knows everybody, but try to, establish whether it's a friendship or if it's flirty at the start, You know what I mean? Number 7, work wife or husband. Now, this is controversial, I would say, but however, I am not being with anyone that's got a work wife or work husband. The only time I think it would be acceptable is if I had a work husband because I am gay. Okay? But realistically, I want to have peace and tranquility in my life. I don't want my partner going to work, calling someone their work wife or work husband or work people, whatever the hell. I don't want it, okay? I think it's inappropriate. I'm sorry. Let's be platonic. Let's be friends. You're not having work wives or work husbands. I think life is hard, okay? Life is hard as it is. We all want to trust our partners, but let's just make it a bit easier. Number 8, someone says, if you were into women, I'd date you. I appreciate that. I assume a lot of people would say that to me, Thank you very much. I am currently seeing somebody. I'm currently in a relationship, so that would not be appropriate. So even if you did date women, you would not be dating me. And your partner should also be saying the same thing. So if you're in a relationship, that is not appropriate, okay? We're not accepting that kind of flirtation towards us. Also as well, I'm not being funny, but you should trust your partner enough to be able to handle a situation like that. So if someone's being really flirty with them, they should be able to shut that down. We're not, I was just only trying to be nice and I was only trying to be polite. No. That person is literally saying if they were into women, they would date you. No, absolutely not. So to hell with that one. So when we're talking about friendly versus flirty, obviously it's something that you establish in your own relationship from the get-go. We need to set boundaries, we need to know, because it's different for everyone. Some people are really laid back. They like it when their partners are flirting with other people. They're a little bit more laid back, I don't know. And other people have like different boundaries in their relationship. So some people would say, I actually don't mind it when my partner does that, or I actually don't mind it when we do this, and whatever it might be, you'd have to, have the context yourself, wouldn't you? Other people are polyamorous, so they would have their own set of boundaries, of course, so that's different as well. So it's really, really important when you meet a new person, when you meet a new partner, obviously their boundaries will be different. And some people are just coming away from being single for a while, so they may need an adjustment period. But you've got to have respect. You've got to have respect. You've got to have trust in a relationship. You've also got to establish, like, do you want a partner that's out every single night, three nights a week, till God knows what time, doing, you know, whatever they're doing? You know, if I had a partner that's out till 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 nights a week, they're fanning around with their friends, I don't know, licking each other's nipples, I don't fucking know what everyone's up to. You know, it's not appropriate. I wouldn't want to be with somebody that's doing that. Maybe when you were single, do what you want, lick all the nipples you like, okay? But you're in a relationship now, that's not appropriate. I also don't want to be with somebody that's out 3 nights a week. You know, we all like a night out, we all like to blow off some steam now and then, but it's got to be in the context of a respect and trusting relationship, and you've both got to set those boundaries. What are you comfortable with, what are you not comfortable with? I think it's really, really, really important. Also, you don't want to be overkill. You don't want to be all over your partner. You know, you want your partner to be able to maintain other friendships. In order to have, you know, a fulfilled life, you got to have good friendships, relationships with your family, whatever, right? So I think it's important to not be overbearing with your partner, but also have really clear and established boundaries. That is really, really, really important. And on the other hand, we don't want to be crazy people and like literally restrict our partners. They need to have friends, they need to have family, they need to have co-workers. You need to allow them to establish other relationships outside the relationship as well. We can't be, you know, crazy gays, you know, coddling our partners and our partners can't go anywhere. You know, it's not, you know, that's also not a healthy relationship, is it, darling? So yeah, anyway, let's just make sure our partner has a life, okay, outside the relationship, and that you trust them. And also as well, if your partner is constantly doing things that are inappropriate and they're making excuses, oh well, I didn't mean this and it didn't mean, but it's a repeated pattern, don't let that slide. And ask yourself seriously, do you want to be with somebody that you're constantly having to get explanations with for behaving badly? Okay, we don't want inappropriate texts, we don't want inappropriate hand touches and behaviors, or we don't want your partner stepping out of the relationship and making excuses for bad behavior. If you are looking for a long lifetime partner, someone that you can rely on, that you can trust is important. You've got to have someone that can make promises and keep the promises, because that is what will establish a good, healthy, secure relationship. We can't be letting things slide that aren't appropriate, especially when this continues throughout the relationship and you are not being listened to. It is important that you actually hold your partner accountable and hold yourself accountable. Am I behaving appropriately in this relationship? Does this relationship mean enough for me to continue to behave appropriately? And also, do you want to be in the relationship? Because if you don't, you've also got to be honest with yourself, okay? So anyway, listen, I've just started dating again. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm I'm not going to sit here and say that I know everything about relationships. Absolutely not. And I would love any comments that you've got to anything I say. Even if you disagree, I welcome it fully and wholeheartedly. So please put your comments in and let me know what you think about what I've been saying here today. I hope you've enjoyed the episode as much as I do. I have missed Shelby terribly doing this episode. Obviously, it's not normal to just sit and speak to a camera. However, I mean, we're all doing it nowadays. And, you know, it wasn't that bad. You know, I actually didn't mind it at all. So listen, if you have got any queries, of course, we will be doing some query episodes in the future. Bring in your dilemmas. Guys, listen, it doesn't even have to be a relationship dilemma. It could be a dilemma you've got with your friend. You've got a dilemma at work, a family member, whatever it is, write them in. Me and Shelby would absolutely love to sit here and talk about your dilemmas and offer some advice, okay? So listen, if you have got a dilemma, you can DM us or on social media, obviously, or you can inbox us on email, gossipinthecloset97@gmail.com, and you can put in anonymously. Everything that you do write in will be anonymous when we are speaking about it on the podcast. Okay guys, thank you so much. That will be the end of my episode. Next week you will be seeing Shelby, and if you aren't keen on seeing Shelby, it's absolutely fine. You can just tune in the week after for me. All right,
Gossip in the closet.